Stop making these levels! Stop making these levels! Stop making these levels! What's going on, guys? This is Romana with Broken Buttons, and today this is going to be a revision of the difficulty tutorial. Just clear, more optimized, and try and make it shorter. So to begin with, I want to talk about something called artificial difficulty versus design difficulty. Now, right here, I put stage 1-1. This is 1-1 remix. So, as you can see, it's all pretty standard 1-1 stuff. Just introducing the concepts of Mario in general. Except I put that in because I love Shy Guy. But yeah, you get the idea. It's 1-1. It's basically introducing you to all the concepts of Mario. Slowly jumping, coin blocks, enemies, slowly making it harder by doing one Goomba, then another Goomba to make sure you got it, then two Goombas. They show you hidden blocks up here if you find it, how to go down pipes, and then they put Goombas in harder positions, followed by bottomless pits over here once you get jumping down, hitting other blocks, power-ups, the star, then they introduce Koopas, so you get the idea of that, and then basically just more Goombas, and then, you know, they're just being redundant at this point, just to make sure you got it. So that's designed to be easy. Now, artificial difficulty would be if I did this. So say I'm gonna go, okay, well this is gonna be hard mode 1-1, so this is the stage you designed and it's fairly easy, but you want to make it harder. So then you start doing this. You're like, okay, let's put some horn shells. Oh, let's get booze in there. You know. Oh, we gotta have a hammer bro right out to start. We do bombs. You know, chain chomps. Already. Let's get spinies. And I don't know, why not bloopers? And you see here, your level wasn't designed with difficulty in mind. You made an easy level and just threw things at it until it was hard. So see, now it's like you've got more crap to deal with, you're getting too many concepts at once. And you see, it's not that this is impossible, it's just that it's doing too much. And it's trying to be something that it's not. A good example is the first Super Mario Land. Basically, once you beat the game, there's a hard mode, which is the same thing, but there's more enemies on screen. And they're not necessarily placed in strategic places, they're just thrown all over the place. That's artificial difficulty. You're not actually making it difficult, you're kind of just crippling the player by throwing too much at them. So, the problem with artificial difficulty is that it's not satisfying to beat it. It doesn't feel good. It just feels like, you know, you got bullshitted over and over and then you just started to memorize it and then you finally did it and you kind of get that feeling of, oh my god, thank god this shit is over. See, that's not good. You don't want that. It always feels cheap and unfair. Now, another thing people on here seem to do that think, oh, okay, it's gonna delete down there, is that having some sort of gimmick is like a form of skill. And it can be, but and I will show this example that it was a cute concept, but it wasn't as difficult as they wanted it to be. So we take, two of the springs, put wings on them. I should probably just use the copy mode. And they basically did this. And what you had to do was there's a bunch of these, and you had to keep jumping up and climbing them. The problem with that it was too random. Sorry. It was too random because the things were not precisely spawned. So it didn't matter how much skill you had, if these didn't spawn at the right time, you were going to fall. And see, that's the more randomness you put, the less skill out luck. Because by the time I finally did do it, it didn't feel good. It just felt like, okay, I got lucky. It was bullshit until I got lucky. Now, another thing I want to cover is don't design your levels around trial and error, and a lot of people do this, and it's very, very bad. This is something when I'm playing 100 Mario Challenge or whatever, this is immediately me skipping a level if you do this. Don't do this. It's really freaking stupid. And this problem is hidden blocks. And I don't want to do this crap. That is not making it hard. That is making it so you have to keep playing it until you memorize it. Then it's trial and error. Then you're grinding. Do you get what I mean? So you're just going to keep dying at every obstacle over and over because of things you couldn't see. So eventually you're just grinding the level over and over until you memorized it. You're not going to feel good when you finally beat that. It's just kind of like, oh, thank God it's over. So, one other thing that people do when making it difficult is the obvious, you know, frame perfect jumps, things like that, where you have to be like dead on. I could probably move that block one more back, but you get the idea. That's okay if you want to make everything super precise and super hardcore, but understand that that's only going to be okay for the super hardcore players. More casual or middle or even high S skill are gonna not, they're just gonna be like, oh, whatever. Because honestly, I think I'm pretty good at Mario, and I hate those frame perfect challenges. I like a little leniency. I don't like, you know, like that Kaiju Mario stuff. Although I understand Kaiju Mario was specifically made to piss people off, but that doesn't mean do it. It's not good. See, like that. So how do we take difficulty and make it good? So I've shown what you don't do. Now, how do we take what we don't do and what should we do? So we know what to avoid. No, I want Super Mario World. So now we know what to avoid, but now we want to know what we should do. So the first thing you should do when you're designing a difficult level, I'm going to start with difficult and I'm going to do easy. So the first thing is you should design your stage difficult, not make it difficult. And that's sort of like the first thing I said. Don't take your easy stage and throw things at it till it's hard. You want to design the course to be difficult from the start. Not incredibly difficult, but you want to start out with something that's going to show, okay, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to kind of do the example from my last video to make this quicker, so I don't have like a 30-minute tutorial. So let's start out, and we're going to make it difficult from the start. We are going to do paratroopers. There we go. And we are going to do the spikes. Now, from the start, another good thing, the player's not in any immediate danger, so they have a second to stop and assess the situation. I know even I'm guilty of this sometimes, so I usually go back and revise it when that happens. But here we go. They have time to assess what's happening. It's okay. I probably have to bounce off his head to get this. Or, oops, not that. Don't do that. But you know, you can take the, oh, well, I just want to do this. You know, the slow, steady route, which you can do. And you'll be okay. Or you can take the more skilled route, which would be bouncing off the Koopas. And you could do other things with it by, you know, making alternate routes, but I think that's going to be a different video. I don't want to focus on that right now. But your design difficulty should have good enemy placement, good obstacles, and I don't think anything should be super frame perfect. I think a little leniency is good. Maybe one frame perfect jump, but don't overdo it. That's starting to get absurd. So next, sorry. So we introduced spike balls, and we introduced paratroopas. So now, again, going back from my last tutorial, because I don't want to have you guys sit here forever, we're going to do a moving platform. So we're going to introduce moving platforms now. And we're going to have it go this way. Okay. Well, what kind of obstacles do we want on our moving platform? So, since we're still in the beginning, we can introduce more concepts. And here's what I want to do. Let's do saw blades. Also, let's reward the player for getting past the first obstacle. Why not? You can remove power-ups to make things more difficult. But that's just, you know, that is an option. You can do that. I personally don't like it, but you can do it. So again, I probably want to move that back. The player is in no immediate danger. They see the saw blade, but they don't have to do anything about it. We'll move it back a little bit. So there we go. They're not in any immediate they're not in any immediate danger. And why I do this is because you want to let the player see what's going to happen before it happens. You don't want to throw bullshit at them the last second, because again, that will fall into trial and error, and we don't want that. We don't want to have trial and error. So they get to see the paratroopa and the saw blade clearly out of harm's reach. So we're good. So now we're going to make it actually approach them. Now, I guess for the sake of this tutorial, because I don't want to sit here lining things up for a million hours. So let's put the saw blade, I might want to put that farther back. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's try that. So again, we can see the saw blade, and we see the paratroopa. Then we actually see the, maybe that could be a little further back, give them more time. And then, let's move that back. You know, we could have a bouncing off an enemy afterwards, since we already have introduced bouncing off enemies. Just make it clear for them to see and give them time to react. Because again, we don't want trial and error levels. That's bad. So if we start from here, and we break down the concepts one more time. Oops. We can see we're not in any immediate danger. We get a chance to stop and assess what's happening. We can do that, or we can take our safer route, because both will work. We get rewarded for completing the first challenge. And we can see that there's danger here, but we're not in any immediate danger. And it's not till after we see that actual danger shows up. And the original Mega Mans do this. They don't put you in any real danger immediately. They let you see what the threat is first. So you have a second to assess it and figure it out. I actually want to pull the saw blade further back a little more. Give them more time to react. And let's add the spike balls in there for, you know, and you could also do this. You could also have, like, maybe you could leave more signs if you want. You know, it's okay. And you could also do, I'm not going to cover multiple routes here. That's going to be another video, so bear with me on that, because I was going to say, if the player jumps off of that paratroopa that's there as a warning, you could put something higher up for rewarding them for the risk, but I'm going to cover that in the multiple routes video. Then the next thing that's important is rest areas. Now after a couple of the harder challenges, you want to give the player a minute to rest. You know, after they complete... Because here's the thing, if you throw, like, challenge after challenge after challenge at them, it's going to it's going to get overwhelming. And that's not good. We don't... See, now they have a time to just relax for a minute. So they can get ready to see the next challenge. You know, maybe leave coins or something. Some kind of reward. You don't have to give them rewards, but there you go. So what we should keep doing is you want to keep adding on to these things you're showing. Your challenges should feel organic. They should feel like they're progressively getting harder and harder each time. Not just like, you know, getting, like, you go from like medium hardish to utter bullshit. You don't want to like force too much too quickly. And see, the good thing about organic feeling challenges, and at the end, when you get to the end, those feel good. You're gonna feel satisfied. You're gonna feel like you overcame it with your own skill, not because of luck or, you know, the trial and error. I mean, it feels good when you overcome these challenges. So a good way I like to check how I'm doing is I upload my levels, even if they're not finished or perfect yet, and I think they need refinement, because there's only so much I can see. Because if you're the designer, you're gonna have oversights. Things that look like no shit to you are not gonna be clear to other people. So I constantly upload my levels that'll be unfinished or I feel are not up to par yet. Let people play them. I'll check where people are dying the most, and I'll try to assess why, or listen to any kind of comments that I might get. So then I'll take it down, revise it, and put it up again. So another good thing that I want to address is also, I sort of covered the difficulty curve, you know, adding on to your challenges. But another good thing for challenging levels is I understand not overwhelming the player right away, but you do want to add some difficulty at the start. You want to give the heads up that this is going to be challenging. It's not going to be, you know, super easy. There we go. And see, when you take a hit, it's a little more forgiving. You know, that might need adjustment still. And then you get time to rest and all that. So that's making difficult levels. Now say we want to make an easy level. Or say we don't want to make something easy, but we want to make something that's like, you understand the basic concepts of Mario, but you want to be a little more challenged. Say you've only been playing Mario for like a couple days. So I usually like to work with flat surfaces in this case. I'll probably have like a jump. I'll put that there so I can have an enemy and they won't be in any immediate danger. Maybe that will be a power-up. So this is for the people who understand the basics of Mario. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I'll put a hill here so you know they're gonna get it. So it's not the hardest thing in the world, but you have to understand the basic concept. You won't be ready for the shells bouncing back if you don't know Mario already. So this is kind of in between, because I can't really do a better example than 1-1, because that's really the perfect example of an easy level. And the problem is also with making hard levels in Mario Maker is you get one shot. You don't get to, like in, say, Super Mario World, you can start out the levels easy, and then later on you can start out the levels really hard. Because they had those other levels where they had to build up to this, so they understand the concepts and you know what they will and will not understand at that point. In this you have one shot, so it's a little trickier how you have to go about it. So let's say, alright, we did that. They got rewarded for their first obstacle. Let's say we do, you know, 2 Koopas and a Goomba now. And maybe a bottomless pit afterwards. Actually, let me do this. Screw this. Let's add these. Because these just kind of feel unsafe. They kind of feel more unsafe. I want the green one. There we go. Color plays a part in level design, but I think that's another video. It's kind of tricky with Mario Maker since you're limited in your palette. But here we go. So then, you know, it's slowly getting a bit tougher, but it's not really that hard. We have a lot of shells bouncing off things. Then we get the more unsafe platforms, and let's say we're gonna have a moving platform. Let's go up and down, and then we'll have a platform afterwards. Where is it? But this time, and in case you're wondering about rest areas, this is oops. This part's right here is sort of the rest area, or the buffer area, so you know, we got that. But this time, let's have a Koopa on the platform. So it's still, you know, pretty easy. But you get it. It's not like if you haven't played, you know, if you played 1-1 at least once, you'll get this level. It's not gonna be super over the top. If you even want to make it easier, you don't have to do bottomless pits. You can actually just straight have it like this underneath. And then maybe raise this up and raise this up, so at least if the player falls, they have a chance to try again. That's never a problem either, depending on how hard you would like it. You know, you can make it forgiving, so that's never a problem. I'll just put you up there. But yeah, you get the basics. You know, it's not that bad to add safe zones if you want, and then maybe if you want, then after this, you add the bottomless pit. Let's say we hang on. How do I do this right? Let's say this is here, so they obviously can't just jump it in a regular fashion, and then they're gonna have to fall. Let's make the player fall. So we're gonna make them go down. This is good to show them it's safe to go down. For the love of God, I swear to God, every time I try and play some levels online, people add coins that look like, oh, I can go that way, and there's a fucking pit there. If you do that, fuck you. Stop it. But you know, now we can increase the difficulty. Now we can say, now there's bottomless pits. Now it's gonna be less forgiving. Now over here, we're gonna have, you know, maybe 2 Koopas on the platform, so it's gonna get a bit harder. And let's do a pipe or something. You know, we're just slowly piling it on. But I'd say, yeah, this is like a medium-ish level. Nothing too extreme as far as Mario goes. And then also, I think doing flagpoles will be another tutorial, because a lot of people do flagpoles wrong, which I don't like. There is a right way to do flagpoles, but I think I'm gonna cover it in its own video, because I think that would be enough to warrant at least a 15-minute video. I mean, no, see, it's easy. If you want to get the high route, you can hop on the platform. So yeah, I hope this tutorial was more clear than the first one for you guys. I'd like to show you workflow more than show examples, per se, which is why I kind of wanted to redo this, because me personally, I learned from watching people do things. I don't really like people who show me the finished product and then explain what they did. I kind of like to see the process. So, you know, it's not... Yeah, that might have to be touched up. Maybe not. They can kind of see it. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of messing up and having to redo it. Don't worry about that. If one of your challenges isn't doing well, or you feel it's not... Don't leave it in. Oops, I missed it. Could you run past it in the original Super Mario World? I don't remember. I haven't played that game in a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a comment if you liked it, or leave a like or subscribe. This really helps me keep making the videos. The critique video is going up tomorrow, so those of you who sent me your levels, you're all written down on the list. I'm going to try and get to at least... I'll aim for 3, but I think I'm only going to get 2 in 20 minutes. And then again, leave comments on what subjects you'd like me to cover next. And I think that's it. So thank you everyone, and goodbye.